There are moments in life where you feel like you've given everything you have, and it still isn't enough. You're tired. You're frustrated. You're staring at the road ahead, and it feels longer than you have strength for. And that voice in your head starts whispering, "What's the point? Why keep pushing when nothing seems to change?" If you've ever felt like that, if you feel like that right now, I want to tell you something very clearly: you are not alone. Every single person who's ever accomplished something meaningful has stood exactly where you are, facing the same temptation to quit. The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't talent, it isn't luck, it isn't even timing. It's the decision to take one more step, to try one more time, to show up one more day, even when every part of you wants to walk away. See, giving up doesn't happen all at once. It's not usually one big decision. It's a slow surrender. It's those little choices to stop showing up, to stop believing, to stop putting in the effort because you're tired of the disappointment. And I get it, disappointment hurts. You put your time, your energy, your heart into something, and when it doesn't turn out the way you thought, it feels like rejection. It feels like failure. But here's the truth. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every single step you take, whether it feels like progress or a setback, is part of the process shaping you, teaching you, preparing you for what's ahead. Think about the people you look up to, the ones who inspire you. They didn't get where they are because everything went smoothly. They got there because they refused to let the struggle stop them. They saw obstacles as training. They took the pain and turned it into power. And the only difference between them and you is that they decided not to quit when it hurt. And right now, you have that same decision in front of you. When you feel like giving up, your mind will try to convince you that stopping is relief, that quitting will make the pain go away. But here's the secret: it doesn't. Because walking away doesn't erase the dream that's in your heart. It just buries it. And buried dreams don't stay quiet. They show up as regret, as frustration, as that nagging thought in the back of your mind years later, wondering what could have happened if you had just kept going. Quitting feels like comfort in the moment, but it becomes a lifetime of what if. And I promise you that weight is heavier than the one you're carrying right now. So what do you do when the weight feels unbearable? You shift your focus. Stop looking at how far you still have to go and look at how far you've already come. You survived days you thought would break you. You got through nights when you swore you couldn't make it. You've already proven that you can carry more than you thought possible. And today is no different. You don't need to have strength for the whole journey. You just need strength for this step. Then the next one, and then the next one. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that progress should be obvious, that if it's working, we'll see it instantly. But most growth happens in silence. Seeds grow underground before they ever break the surface. Muscles are built in the hidden grind of the gym before anyone sees the transformation. Success works the same way. Just because you don't see the results yet doesn't mean nothing is happening. Your effort is compounding. Your persistence is stacking. The reward comes to those who refuse to walk away. I want you to picture this. Imagine you're pushing a boulder up a hill. Day after day, it barely moves. It feels like all your energy is wasted. But what you don't realize is that you're getting closer to the tipping point. And one day, with one final push, everything shifts. The boulder moves on its own. All those days that felt pointless suddenly make sense. That's how persistence works. Most people quit right before the tipping point, not realizing how close they are. Don't let that be your story. And let me remind you of something powerful: your struggle has purpose beyond yourself. Someone out there needs your example. They need to see someone who kept fighting, someone who didn't quit when it got hard, because it will give them permission to keep going too. Your fight isn't just about you. It's about the lives you'll impact, the people you'll inspire, the future you'll shape. Sometimes your persistence becomes someone else's hope. Now, let's be real. I'm not telling you this is easy. I'm not saying it won't hurt. I'm saying it's worth it. The easy choice is always to quit. The hard choice is to keep moving when you don't feel like it. But remember, diamonds are made under pressure. Steel is forged in fire. And character, resilience, greatness, they are built in moments just like this, when you feel like you've got nothing left and you decide to keep going anyway. So the next time that voice in your head tells you to stop, I want you to pause and remember why you started. Go back to that moment when the dream first lit up inside you, when the vision was so clear that nothing else mattered. That fire is still in you. It might feel small right now, but it's not gone. Feed it with action. Feed it with courage. Feed it with one more step forward. You don't have to finish the race today. You don't have to solve every problem, win every battle, or conquer every mountain all at once. All you have to do is decide right here, right now, that you're not quitting. That no matter how hard it gets, you're going to keep showing up because your breakthrough is closer than you think. Your story isn't over. And one day, you'll look back at this moment, the moment you almost gave up, and realize it was the moment that defined everything. So take a deep breath, stand back up, wipe off the doubt, and move forward. Not because it's easy, but because you are stronger than the struggle. And as long as you don't quit, as long as you keep going, you cannot lose. Sometimes the hardest part about not giving up isn't the pain, it's the silence. It's the silence between effort and reward. That space where you've been working, showing up, giving it everything you have, and nothing seems to be happening. It's the days when you check for progress and see nothing changing. That silence can feel unbearable because your mind starts convincing you that silence means failure, that if nothing's happening, then nothing ever will. But let me tell you something that can change your perspective. Silence does not mean absence. Just because you don't see movement doesn't mean progress isn't taking place. Growth takes time. And sometimes the quietest seasons are the most transformative. Think about it like planting a seed. You put it in the soil, water it, wait on it. For days, weeks, maybe months, you see absolutely nothing. If you judge the process by what you could see, you'd think the seed was dead. But under the surface, out of sight, roots are spreading, foundations are forming, strength is being built. And when the time is right, the seed breaks through. That's exactly how persistence works. That's exactly what's happening in your life right now. You may not see the results, but that doesn't mean the roots aren't growing. You can't always see your progress, but you can trust the process. When you feel like giving up, it's usually because you're focused on the wrong thing. You're looking for proof instead of purpose. You're looking for evidence of success right now instead of remembering why you started in the first place. Proof will come, but purpose has to come first. If your purpose is strong enough, it will carry you through the silence, through the setbacks, through the days when nothing makes sense. Purpose is what makes you get back up. Purpose is what keeps your feet moving when your mind screams to stop. And here's another truth. You don't need motivation every day to keep going. You need discipline. Motivation is like fuel. It runs out. It's great to have. It gives you a spark, but it doesn't last. Discipline is the engine. It keeps moving forward even when the tank feels empty. And here's the secret. You build discipline by choosing not to quit again and again until persistence becomes part of who you are. You don't have to feel powerful to keep going. You just have to choose not to stop. Now, I know you've been through things that hurt. Disappointments, failures, moments where you gave everything and still didn't get the outcome you wanted. Those moments can make you question if it's worth it. But let me remind you, pain isn't wasted. Every challenge you've faced has taught you something. Every failure has built strength you didn't have before. And every time you kept going despite the pain, you became someone stronger, wiser, tougher. You're not the same person who started this journey. You've grown. You've been refined. And that means you're more capable now than you've ever been before. When people look at success, they only see the highlight reel. They see the finish line, but not the miles of exhaustion. They see the reward, but not the countless rejections. They see the victory, but not the tears, the late nights, the doubts that almost broke the dreamer. What you need to remember is that you're living in the part that no one else sees. You're in the trenches. You're in the grind. And that's where greatness is made. That's where character is forged. That's where the future champions are built. So when you feel like giving up, remind yourself that this season isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to develop you. The pressure you feel isn't punishment, it's preparation. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Gold is refined by fire. Muscles are built by resistance. And your strength is being shaped by the exact struggle you're facing right now. The pressure you're under is proof of the value you carry. If your dream wasn't important, if your future wasn't significant, the resistance wouldn't be this strong. The very fact that you feel like quitting is evidence that you're on the edge of something meaningful. And I want to challenge you with this thought. What if you are closer to your breakthrough than you realize? What if the reward you've been waiting for is just one more step away? Imagine quitting now, not knowing that tomorrow or next week or next month was the moment everything would shift. How would it feel to walk away right before it happened? That's why persistence matters. Because you never know which step will be the one that changes everything. I want you to think about someone in your life who looks up to you, someone who believes in you. It could be a friend, a child, a sibling, maybe even someone you don't realize is watching. They're paying attention. They're learning how to handle life by watching how you handle yours. And your persistence may be the thing that teaches them not to give up on their own journey. You may not even realize it, but your example could be saving someone else's dream. Sometimes we push forward not just for ourselves, but for the people we inspire along the way. Here's something else to hold on to. Quitting doesn't erase the pain. It only trades it for regret. And regret is a pain that doesn't go away. It lingers. It whispers at you years later. It makes you wonder what could have been. That's why the struggle of persistence, as heavy as it feels, is always lighter than the weight of regret. You might be hurting now, but the victory will heal that pain. Regret never does. So, what do you do right now in this moment when you're tired and drained and feel like quitting? You simplify. Don't think about tomorrow. Don't think about the next year. Don't think about how far you still have to go. Just focus on the next step. That's it. One step. Because one step keeps you in the fight. One step keeps you moving. And if you take enough single steps, eventually you'll look back and realize you've climbed the entire mountain. You don't need to feel like a warrior to keep fighting. You don't need to feel like a hero to keep going. You just need to make the choice not to quit right here, right now. Because persistence is not about never feeling weak. It's about feeling weak and choosing to move anyway. And that choice, repeated enough times, will transform you into someone unbreakable. One day, the story you're writing with your persistence will inspire someone else to keep going. One day, you'll look back at this season and thank yourself for not giving up. And one day, all the pain, all the struggle, all the silence will make sense. Because it will have led you exactly where you were meant to be. So don't stop now. Not when you've come this far. Not when you've already proven you can survive what tried to break you. You're stronger than you realize. You're closer than you think. And if you just keep taking one more step, you'll get to the place you've been fighting for. Don't give up. Not today. Not ever. There comes a point in every journey where your body feels drained, your mind feels exhausted, and your heart questions whether it can handle one more day. That's the point where most people quit. They say, it's too much. I can't keep doing this. I don't have it in me anymore. And maybe you felt that way. Maybe you feel it right now. But I want you to consider something different. What if the moment you feel like quitting is actually the signal that you're closer to your breakthrough than ever before? What if the heaviness you feel is not proof of weakness, but proof that you're carrying something worth fighting for? See, giving up is always easier in the short term. It feels like relief. It feels like taking off a heavy backpack after a long hike. But here's the difference. You don't get to the top of the mountain by putting the backpack down halfway. You don't get the view, the victory, or the reward by stopping in the middle. Relief is temporary. Regret is permanent. And if you stop now, you may find yourself years later looking back and realizing you were so much closer than you thought, but you never gave yourself the chance to see it. What you need to know is that persistence isn't about never falling. It's about refusing to stay down. It's about having the courage to rise again, even when you're bruised, even when you're tired, even when you feel like the world is pressing against you. And every single time you stand back up, you prove something powerful, that the struggle may be strong, but it isn't stronger than you. Here's the truthy, you've already beaten more than you give yourself credit for. Think back to times you thought you wouldn't survive, moments where you swore it was over. And yet, here you are, breathing, living, moving forward. Those past victories are proof that you have more inside you than you realize. The same strength that carried you through before will carry you through again. The same resilience that pulled you out of yesterday's darkness will be enough for today's. But when you're in the middle of the storm, it's easy to forget that. It's easy to let the fear drown out your faith. It's easy to believe the lie that struggle means failure. But struggle isn't failure. Struggle is evidence of growth. You're in the middle of being stretched, refined, strengthened. And no one grows without struggle. Every champion you've ever admired has been where you are, facing the temptation to give up, standing on the edge of surrender. And they made the same choice you're being asked to make today, to keep moving forward, even when it didn't make sense, even when it didn't feel good, even when they wanted to quit. And here's something else to hold on to. The people who keep going are rarely the strongest, the smartest, or the most talented. They're the ones who simply refuse to quit. They're the ones who decide over and over again that no matter what happens, they won't walk away. Persistence beats talent. Consistency beats motivation. Refusal to quit beats every obstacle in the long run. Now, I know your dream feels heavy. I know the weight of your circumstances can feel crushing. I know there are nights when you lie awake wondering if this is worth it. But let me remind you, the dream inside you is not random. It's not an accident. It's there because you are capable of carrying it. If you weren't, it wouldn't be yours. That dream was placed in your heart for a reason, and you have everything you need inside you to bring it to life. The question is, will you keep going long enough to see it happen? When you feel like giving up, I want you to do something simple. Remember why you started. Remember the excitement you felt at the beginning. Remember the vision you had of what life could be, of what you could become. That fire might feel dim right now, but it isn't gone. It's waiting for you to breathe life into it again. And the way you do that isn't by thinking about the finish line. It's by taking the next step, because every step forward reignites the flame. Every small act of persistence reminds you that the dream is still alive. And let me tell you this, there's someone in the future waiting for you to keep going. It's you, a stronger you, a wiser you, a version of yourself that has lived through the pain you're in now and come out victorious. That future you is looking back at this moment, thanking you for not quitting, thanking you for choosing courage instead of comfort, thanking you for believing when it was hard. The path you're on may be difficult, but it's leading somewhere worth reaching. And if you quit now, you rob yourself of becoming that person. Think of it this way, life will always present you with two choices: quit and stay the same, or push through and grow. And while quitting feels easier, it leaves you stuck. Growth is painful, yes, but it leads you to places you never imagined. The discomfort you feel right now is the cost of transformation, and that transformation is worth every ounce of effort. So, in this moment, you have a decision: to stop here or to take one more step, to surrender to the weight or to carry it a little further. And I'm here to tell you, you have more in you. You are stronger than you feel. You are braver than you believe. And you are more capable than you think. One day, you'll tell the story of this struggle. You'll talk about how close you were to giving up, how heavy it felt, how much you wanted to stop. And then you'll tell the part that matters most. You didn't quit. You kept going. You fought through. And because you did, you got to see what was waiting on the other side. That story will inspire others. It will remind them that they, too, can keep going when it hurts. And your example will become the fuel for someone else's persistence. So don't give up now. Don't walk away when the finish line could be closer than you think. Don't let temporary pain steal permanent victory. Hold on. Take the next step. Breathe, fight, believe, keep going, because everything you've ever wanted might be waiting just beyond this moment. And the only way you'll know is if you refuse to quit. So here's the truth I want you to carry with you. The moment you feel like giving up is the exact moment you must push harder. Not because it's easy, not because you feel strong, but because this is where greatness is born. This is where champions are made. This is where your story changes. And if you keep going, if you keep fighting, if you refuse to quit, there will come a day when you look back on this season and realize that this was the turning point. This was the moment that defined everything. So lift your head, steady your heart, take that step, and don't stop. Not now, not here, not ever.